Hey guys, it's Bopper here, and yeah, the wait's finally over. The fourth DLC for Battlefield 3 Aftermath was released today, so I thought, why not share my kind of initial opinions on the DLC, after just a few hours of playing the new maps and the new modes in Aftermath. The background gameplay was just my actual first round of Rush on, I think it's called Talah Market, and it was really fun, so, I thought, why not post it. Well, I suppose in case you've lived under a rock, there are 4 new maps to choose from. The first map's Epicenter. It's kind of like a kind of business district, but it's all torn up by earthquakes and all that sort of jazz. It's a pretty interesting map, quite fun to play on Conquest. I had a couple of games on Rush on it too, and it was quite fun. The second map was Markaz Monolith, which is a strange kind of map. It's kind of another urban cityscape with lots of towers and buildings, and I suppose as the theme goes, the ground's all torn up again, and lots of buildings and combat in the streets kind of thing. The third map is Azadi Palace, which is kind of like a large parliament building, or kind of government building that's kind of all bombed out and damaged by earthquake, and it's not just focused around the palace itself. There are other buildings in the area, but I suppose it's one of the main focuses is the large structure. And the fourth map is Talah Market, which is a kind of a bizarre type marketplace, which is very good on Rush. Haven't played too much of it on Conquest yet, but yeah, definitely a very nice map. The usual kind of game modes are there, like Conquest and Rush. But there's kind of a new exciting game mode called Scavenger. Scavenger is essentially kind of like a conquest mode. You still have to kind of capture flags and all the usual stuff, except instead of having the choice of selecting your own kit, weapons and different loadouts, you're forced to choose from a pistol. You can pick any pistol that you have if you've unlocked it in Battlefield 3, and then you just kind of have to move throughout the map and find better weapons to kind of increase your chances of staying alive longer. Seems to kind of be a wide choice of guns around that you can find, and the places where the weapons spawn I think they're fixed, but the weapons at those locations kind of tend to vary. So you might pick up a Dow 12 in one spot, and then a few minutes later it might be an 870 or something similar. So far I've kind of enjoyed Scavenger mode. It's been quite a bit of fun. It's similar in a way to Gunmaster, except, as I say, there is flags. I kind of find myself running around with the pistol, thinking I need to get off the pistol and onto an X-gun without picking up a new one. So I suppose you kind of have to train yourself to think a bit different. But I'll probably put a bit more time into Scavenger mode tomorrow if I get a chance. Overall, I think the maps really look amazing, even for console. They're kind of similar to the Carcam maps in size, similar kind of design and kind of structure and layout to them, except I suppose all the destroyed buildings and the earthquake damage totally changes them altogether. I think my favourite so far is the Azadi Palace map for Conquest. The large parliament building, it's totally bombed out, and there's lots of kind of tier-to-tier fighting on different levels and in buildings around the surrounding area of the palace. So you can have some cool firefights on that map. I've also really been enjoying Rush on the new maps. I think they're some of the best Rush maps in Battlefield 3. Just on first playing, I've really enjoyed them. There's lots of little flanking options. Passageways, doorways, rooftops. You've got lots of different ways of going. For me, a lot of the problem in the vanilla maps was, they were all just choke points. I mean, a really bad team could just camp out a choke point, and you just couldn't get through there if they're running a medic train. It just made it really difficult to try and do that. But in this, if you've got a smart squad and you're working together, you can definitely flank the enemy, get in behind them, and get the plants off without anyone even knowing or having the time to react, which I think makes a really good game. I really like this map for Rush so far. I haven't had too much time to play it on Conquest, to give a definite opinion, I suppose, but I'll definitely be checking them all out as soon as I can. Epicenter is a bit of a tough one for Rush, I guess. I played a couple of rounds on this. It's got more of the kind of choke points and narrow routes towards the MCOMs than I think the other 3 maps, but I suppose if you've got a semi-decent team and they know what they're doing, you can definitely still win while being on the attacker side. There's a lot of cover kind of for the enemies in the craters. There's kind of upturned bits of ground and walls and stairwells that they can kind of take a lot of cover in. The attackers kind of have to run out into the open, and a lot of the time you're just in the firing line. But if your team's anyway smart, they might equip some smoke grenades and maybe some mortars. I could see mortars definitely helping on this sort of map, because you could, guys cluster up and they sit very close to the MCOMs because they are so out in the open. So it's definitely another thing to take into consideration. Kind of the only downsides so far I've kind of experienced are players trying to get to inaccessible spots on the map, bailing from helis and trying to get onto out of bounds rooftops, and I guess trying to be a nuisance. But I'm not quite sure if you can actually stay up there, or is there a timer, or an out of bounds type thing. I haven't actually done it myself. I've no real interest in doing it, but I've seen a few people trying. But hopefully people will play the objective a bit more, and just enjoy the maps rather than kind of being asshats and camping in annoying spots. So I think in a summary, I suppose, I think from my playtime so far, I think Aftermath is probably the best DLC since Back to Karkand for me. It offers a bit of everything. It has the close quarters combat that some players love, and it also has the tank and vehicle gameplay, so it appeals to a lot of different people. I kind of like a blend of both, so it definitely ticks the boxes for me. I kind of hope it'll be a bit of a breath of fresh air for the game, and keep us all going till I guess Endgame is released in March. And hopefully maybe bring a few players back to Battlefield 3. A lot of players were kind of disappointed with Armored Kill, and a lot of people with Close Quarters too. And those DLCs, I played Armored Kill for maybe the first 2 weeks, and then I haven't played it since, really. It's not enjoyable at all, whereas these maps are well scaled, and they just offer a lot more fun and excitement than the other DLCs, I think. And with the similarities to Karkand, people can kind of get a grasp of the maps quite quickly and understand where they need to be, and stuff like that. I haven't spent too much time in the vehicles. I mean, they're not really that different. They're kind of modified. They have grenade launchers in them, which is one kind of thing which they can do quite a bit of damage if you take a few hits. They've also got a mounted machine gun on there, similar to the Vodnik and I suppose the Humvee. But I suppose they bring a bit of diversity, and I suppose another cool thing I forgot to mention was the different character models. You probably get sick of seeing the same guys running around the battlefield all the time, the Russian and the American soldier. So it's nice to have a bit of a change of characters. Brings a bit of freshness to the game, I guess. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. That'll do it for me anyway, so I'll talk to you guys soon, and I'll hopefully have some more gameplay and stuff up tomorrow if I get a chance. So I'll talk to you then. Bye.